At Dream Support, as we seek to support high-level leaders like yourself, busy leaders who have a lot on their plate, there are 5 levels of effectively working with your remote executive assistant. And let me just clarify, like for us, remote executive assistants are often fractional. So maybe you feel like, man, I don't have the budget for that. You probably do if you don't hire full-time in-house people and you contract out with us to do fractional. I can provide a lot of support. So here's 5 levels to effectively working with that kind of person, a remote executive assistant. Level 1 is clear the overwhelm. That's kind of why you come to us. You are overwhelmed with something. You've got so much on your plate. There are things missing off your calendar, or you are double booked, or you're missing essential communication and email that you're not getting back to people in time. Those are basic. Those are the things that a lot of people come to us already with. The thing that you need to think about, though, as you start to work with someone in this kind of position is AED, automate, eliminate, delegate. For you, what's on your to-do list that you can automate, what's on your to-do list that you can eliminate, not important, not urgent kind of stuff, and what can you delegate? We are the delegation piece of that. So as long as it can be delegated to someone who can work remotely, ethically, and do something on your behalf, it can be delegated. Now, in order to get an ROI on those things, on clearing the overwhelm, you need to think about 3 basic things to start. Regular communication. I recommend a weekly huddle with your EA, a place to talk about what you need to get done, what was done, and what's some feedback on some stuff. So that's number 1 is a weekly communication. It can be, I spend an hour, a little over an hour with 2 assistants myself every Monday. I'm not saying it needs to be an hour. Maybe for you, it's 20 minutes. Maybe for you, it's 30 minutes. I don't know what it is for you. For me, that's really helpful to spend that length of time. Number 2, open access. So in order for them to do things on your behalf, they have to have the access to the things that you want them to have access to accomplish, right? So you have to give them access and trust right off the bat. Now you can start out slow by giving them access to something particular and grow that trust over time to open up more access, but you have to give them access to the things you're asking them to take care of on your behalf. The third thing I want you to think about as you begin a relationship like this is immediate feedback. Immediate feedback. So if there's something that's a little bit out of whack, if there's something you didn't like how they replied to something or it wasn't quite right, give them constructive feedback right away. So this is ROI, regular communication, open access, immediate feedback. If you don't give them immediate feedback, by the way, the course correction gets harder to make. So if you're starting here and there's a little bit of like this and you give them feedback and you get them back right here, that's going to be really helpful. But if you just don't deal with it, it's going to continue to veer off course. So make sure that they understand what you're looking for in those kinds of things. So that's how to start, right? So that's number 1. Number 2, the second level is SOP, generating machine, standard operating procedure. So if you don't already have this in your business or your nonprofit or whatever it is, your venture, if you already don't have standard operating procedures, this person can help you document those. Now, chances are you actually do have these. They're in your head and they're personal, especially for you solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, starters. You do things and you just know them internally. And so if you invite someone else into that process, you're going to have to explain to them or get them to think like you think, or you involve your EA in documenting that process that's already in your head. So how do you do that? Well, you get on a call and you write it out. And I recorded a whole video about this and released it, but I'll just go over it very briefly. You record the call where you're explaining it. You screen share. You identify what you're talking about. What are the things that are repetitively coming up that need to be documented? These are things that you routinely deal with, but you just do it. You just do it automatically. And if you're inviting someone else into doing it, they need to learn how you would do it and then do it on your behalf or improve on that. So walk it through with them. So record it, identify what you're talking about, walk it through with them, allow them to ask a lot of questions about it, clarifying questions, allow that person, that EA, to type it out, and then allow them to own it and refine it and make it better over time. So the first essential is clear the overwhelm. The second is SOP, generating machine. The third one is don't DIY. So I know the temptation. The temptation is to do everything yourself, but you need to start giving up the little things that add up and take up brain space for you over. They just take up a lot of brain space, right? They're just little things. And you're like, well, I can just do this very quickly and I don't have to bother my EA. But the more of those things that you can put on their plate, the greater brain space you're going to have to accomplish the higher value things in your business or venture. So don't DIY. Actually start to involve them in this minutia so that they can take it away from you, so that they can deal with it on your behalf. Because if you just do it yourself, they'll never be totally integrated into your needs and you won't feel the relief that you need to feel. So clear the overwhelm, SOP generating machine, don't DIY. Fourth level is multiply and clarify your thinking. So how do you do that? Well, you have brainstorming sessions. You can actually utilize your early week meeting, your huddle, to talk about new ideas. You can do what some of our clients call working meetings, where you actually execute on some things together in that call. For some of you, that may be a great route to take. So brainstorm sessions, research. They can do a ton of research on your behalf. What's the best thing for that? What's the best platform for this? How do I do this? How do I do that? Give them that assignment so that they can give you the research and you can make informed decisions. The third part of multiply your thinking is strategic planning. They can help you execute, evaluate strategy, identifying goals, creating action plans, tracking progress, those sorts of things. So that's a really important part of this thing. So we have clear the overwhelm, SOP generating machine, don't DIY, multiply and clarify your thinking. And then level 5 is actually reallocate your energy. So once you've gotten all those things taken care of, you can reallocate energy. So what do you do with that energy? Well, you spend time strategizing, long-term planning, develop sprints, work sprints. What's a short-term goal? What can we do in the next 6 weeks that we can really push forward? And how would we measure that? You can innovate. You can think about offering new products or services that benefit the same clients that you already have. You can streamline those internal processes. You can think about research and development and conduct market research and explore new partnerships with other people in the same kinds of fields or adjacent fields. So you can strategize, you can innovate, you can expand your network, you can spend time attending conferences or building important potential relationships with people that could be a big connection for you in the future. You can spend time on personal development. You can take courses and learn and grow. You can hire a business coach and spend time on your business, not just in your business, to improve on your skill set. And then the last one, generate revenue. So the chances are you're the best person in your company organization to generate more revenue. You're probably the best person for that. That's why this whole thing started. So those are the 5 levels of effectively working with your remote executive assistants. Clear the overwhelm, SOP generating machine, don't DIY, multiply and clarify your thinking, and reallocate your energy into other avenues. Once you do those things, you have really reached a high level of effectively working with your remote EA, and they are highly empowered to do this work on your behalf and for you. So I hope that's helpful. If it is, I would love for you to subscribe to my weekly newsletter, Mondays with Micah, where I help you maximize your investment in your remote executive assistant. If you do not have a remote executive assistant, I'd love to help you find that person, even if it's just for 5 hours a week, or if you're on the higher end of the scale, you need 30, 35, 40 hours a week. I'd love to help you in that process. Thanks for watching, and share this with somebody you think it would benefit.